Hello and welcome to Up and Adam Live's channel. My name is Gelsey and I'm going to be here with you every single day recapping season 2 of Love Island Games. And I am so excited. Last night we started and oh my God, talk about fire, talk about already the drama, already the sexual tension and the competition. It's starting heavy. So let's just get straight into it. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any of my Love Island recaps coming your way. Let's do this. Okay, here we are. I am so excited. We are back in Fiji at the villa, which I know it's like a similar vibe, or if not the same, but I just want to give a moment of praise to this design. It gives me Barbie dream house, and if you can't tell by my everything that I am a full Barbie girl and I want to live in Barbie dream house. So basically I want to live at the villa. That's what I'm saying. We have, of course, the beautiful Ariana Madix hosting. She looked absolutely fire last night. Can we talk about this? Oh, I mean, she is now my new goals. If you can't tell, I decided to do a nice, sleek, sexy ponytail from her first look. I was like, she's now my goal to looks, goddess, all of it. We're just gonna, we're living in her season. Yeah. She always is fire, but there's something about last night. She just walked on. I was like, oh, she just leveled up. And I'm so excited. Okay, let's jump straight into our 12 contestants, our 12 starting contestants, may I say. We start off with KK from the US entering the villa. I think she has such a fun, flirty vibe. I don't have much of a take on her quite yet. I do, but I think she's going to be coming out, but I do like her giddiness. That's the word I would give her, is giddy. Next, we have Andrea from the US, and she's a powerhouse. She's a former bodybuilding competitor. And I think she's already so observant when she comes in the villa and kind of already can see who has eyes for who. And I was like, oh, she's got a strong head on her shoulders. Then we have Adrina. I think she's absolutely adorable. She's one of my favorites just because she just, of course, stunning. They're all absolutely beautiful, but she has a very playful side to her. And I'm here for the playful. Tyreek. Tyreek from the US or UK, excuse me. I'll want to describe every man on Love Island ever as douchey because I think that's just part of the job description. But he's got a bit of a cockiness. I'm curious if there's going to be some humbling moments for him. I think that would make for a good, yeah. And he was already hitting Andrea up in her DM. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Lucinda from UK, did UK and Australia Love Island. She's adorable. She's a little bit of our ditzy blonde. Hey, I'm representing the blonde here too, but I'm curious to see where she goes too. I think she's our weakest player, as we saw. Again, stunning. She should model, but when she opens her mouth, you kind of go, "Oh, sweetie." That's how I felt. But I'd like to see her grow. Kendall from the US. He is the proclaimed kissing challenge champ. I like Kendall. He gives me that again. You want to have a little bit of that edge of cockiness and confidence to come on Love Island to start with, but then you bring in games and you need that to have that edge. But I think he's got a nice balance between kind of genuine and cocky. Isaiah from US. Oh my gosh. He was a second place winner of season 4, but he is self-proclaimed roster guy. He has no problem having a roster of 3 always on hand for when he wants to get laid. That was talk about douchebag. The producer even asked him if he's an F boy, a little bit of a fuck boy, and he laughs because he's like, yeah, I am. So he's already he's got that reputation, but we'll see. Then Garby. She's one of my favorites. We already see the strongest players winning the first competition. She's from the Netherlands and Belgium season, from Belgium, but threw us, I think, all off with her Americanized accent. She taught herself English from social media and has more of an American accent than any of the American girls. I'm here for it. It still throws me. My mind's like, wait, she's not American. She's not American. Nicola from Malta. I have actually been to Malta multiple times. It is a small country, beautiful, very historically inclined, if I might say. But I am putting my underdog marker on her. I think she's going to be the underdog. I think she has the brains that no one else has. And I also think because she's not a lot of the guys' like first initial pick, I think that gives her an upper hand of actually keeping the eye on the prize. Mert, we have from the Netherlands. He was on season 2 and season 3 winner, soccer player, big gym guy. Again, all the guys are gym bros. If you can't tell by their everything, and they're all big athletes. But his English is probably the worst out of the group, and I think some people might take that as weakness, or I think that's their initial. Even as viewers, I think we're like and I think we forget that's not always the case. And is he easy on the eyes? That smile of his. Ooh. And then we have Josh. Josh from the US. He's our short king. And my God, does he come with short king cocky energy? He's probably my biggest ick. He's given me the ick the most starting off. I'm ranking him my lowest favorite. He's definitely got the, I'm a personal trainer. I'm sure he talks about his macros like all the freaking time. We'll see where he goes this season, but for me, I don't know. I'm not feeling him. He's too cocky for me. And then speaking of cocky, we've got Chris. He, I think, came off with a cocky start. I think it was more of a misunderstanding in my opinion, but he's US from season 7. Basketball player. Again, we got the sports on the guy's side. I think almost every guy, they're like, I'm open for connection, open for love, but almost all of them said they are there for the game first, winning first. Chris, we did get a little bit of an ick start. Let's see his little intro to some of the players here.
My name is Chris. I'm sure you guys probably know who I am.
Why would we know who you are?
Oh, I'm sure you guys know who I am. And then Lucinda immediately, why would we know who you are? Just throwing the shade right back in his face. I was like, oh, this is cringy. But honestly, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I took it as like an endearing misunderstanding. Like you can see his tail go between his legs immediately after their response happens. And he's like, that didn't come out the way I meant it to. That's how I took it. I figured he was like, we've all been on Love Island. We're all aware of who we all are because most of them watch other seasons. And some of them, as we learned, even hit each other up in their DMs. So he probably was like, I feel like an idiot introducing myself when you do know who I am. And then the response, it wasn't taken well. It was taken very much on that ick factor. And I think the way he redeemed himself, where he's like, oh, okay, well, if you don't, then like, nice to meet you. And you can tell he has that very like, oh, like feeling, which I think I relate to that. I do that a lot in my life. I'm the queen of foot in my mouth and just kind of like thinking something's going to work out in my head. And then when it comes out, it's just like, oh, it didn't come out the right way. So I didn't get offended by it or personally grab the ick from it. There's something about him I do like. I don't know if it's the puka shells, maybe, but yeah, so that is our lineup. And we go straight into our first challenge, the Gladiator Challenge Ruin Me, which, what a great name. We've got our guys and our beautiful women who they're looking fire. They're looking great. And I love how beautiful they look. And then the game, they're like, hey, we are going to destroy your look. We're going to throw you in slime, dirt, all of it. So basis of the game, we have 2 players go head to head. They have to collect 4 hearts of their color. There's the yellow team and the pink team. They have to pop balloons with their helmets. break through a wall into pink slime, find their heart in the slime, slide down into the Caesar salad full of balloons and blocks, find another heart, and then go rescue a player of their choice, which gives us a good opportunity to see who has eyes for who. Rescue them, grab another heart, and then go to the sand pit of snakes to find the final heart, run the hearts over to their puzzle blocks, put in all the hearts, and then they get time stamped. Now, call me morbid, call me I grew up on too much Fear Factor and Survivor growing up. I personally thought the pit of snakes should have actually been snakes. Like, why not? We're leveling up this season already with the games and the competition. Let's put some damn snakes in there. I'm hoping this season we get a couple games that actually test people's fears and how far they're willing to go for money. I do understand this is the first episode. I also understand that putting real snakes in there, I don't know if I could do it, but maybe that's a little harsh. And maybe that's why I'm not a producer on reality TV shows. Or maybe I should be a producer. Maybe we should start like a Fear Factor dating show. Wait, Peacock, $1 million idea. Like, hello? I've got an idea for your next awesome dating show. Yeah, that's a personal opinion. I did kind of die when Lucinda went into the pit of snakes and was like screaming as if they were real though. And everyone was like, girl, they're fake. I get phobias. I get people get freaked out even by the thought of things, but that's kind of the moment because she started off really strong. She was ahead of Adrina. They went head to head and she fell behind so quickly and then just was kind of giving up, like, I can't. And then when she started screaming, I was like, and we have our weakest player there as the girls go. It just was so obvious. So once everyone got to finish their game, we had a nice, cute little, you got to kiss your partner who you saved, but in all Love Island fashion. Of course, it was a full makeout session. Some of them were getting me quite heated. I'm not going to lie. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, ooh, I'm wishing I wasn't alone right now on this couch because I'm ready to jump on a man. Yeah. Dirty. And I love it. Slime, sand covered. Like, let's just make our first kisses filthy and dirty. But I kind of like it. But the fun thing about this competition was not only was, it was fun to watch people get covered in slime and then make out, but we got to see as viewers who kind of was the most competitive, strongest, move forward player. And then the players themselves got to see who was competitive. So we have another element to this season that's a lot of fun, and it's a money element, and it's a higher money element that has been before. They have the chance to win $250,000. And you can see when Ariana told them all, their expression and faces were like, this just changed everything. And it brings up the old question of what do you live for, love or money? What's more important? I think it's a common factor in today's society. I mean, you have a lot of women that are looking for a man in finance, and then you have people that just genuinely want that connection and love. I am someone who believes you can have both. I want both. Why wouldn't I want both? Yes, I want love. That without that, I don't want it. But why can't I find somebody that is my person and has a fucking good job? But anyways, Love Island Games. I'm curious if the couple has to split the $250,000 because then honestly, after tax, I was doing the math. I was like, it's not that much money, but whatever. That's just my personal opinions. I always factor in winnings and taxes. I think people forget. But it changed up. You could see how the contestants were going in. Because I think, when in their beginning, they're like, oh, I'm here for the competition. And then they're like, oh, I'm here for connection. But once that money was there, a few of them flipped. And a few of the girls were like, money first, love second. If I can fall in love, great, but I'm here to win the cash. And so then it also changed people's strategies. I think a lot of people were looking for that connection and partner to play these games with. But now people are like, ooh, do I go with the girl that my dick wants or who I think is the strongest player? Surprisingly, I didn't really see too many strong player matchups. I think people did still go with who they found attractive. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to share beds with people. And yeah, you want to maybe snuggle up next to someone that you like. But speaking of, I want to go back to Garvey real quick. She said she's a virgin. So we have a virgin on our hands. She's looking for the right guy until she sleeps with him. So I'm curious if that'll happen on Love Island Games in this beautiful, sex-fueled villa. I mean, I don't think I could keep it in my pants in a villa like that in Fiji. Mm-mm. But it was a fun way to start. And then, of course, we got our rankings. The first place girl and guy got to go first, and they got to pick their partner and then down. So then we had our first 6 couples. We have our couple KK and Chris, which I love the height difference. They even mention it, and he's like, "Don't I hurt your neck looking up?" And she's all giddy. She's giddy around him, and I'm here for it. Garby and Kendall, which I like because it's like Barbie and Ken, Garby and Ken Bell. They even mentioned that too. I think they're a really cute couple. Adrina and Tyreek. I think they're a good couple too. A little bit. I think she's a little looks forward and he's a little bit self-cocky. So they might be a couple that get in the way of themselves, but we'll see. I also hated when he got a higher place than Josh. Josh was like mad smack talking because during the game he found all of Tyreek's hearts. It just was what it was. And Tyreek, being a competitor, was like, great, thanks, brah, took it and ran. I would have done the same. But Josh was like really not being a good loser. He's being a very sore loser. And he's like, well, I did all the work for you. You know, I'll do double the work. And I told you, Josh is giving me the ick. And that just like, that amplified it so much that I was like, oh my God. And when he went on the podium first, and the way Josh was like hackling him, I was like, bro, let it fucking go. I can't. And then we have Nicola and Isaiah. They obviously, I don't think were each other's first picks. I think it was because they were towards the end to choose. She goes with him. But I will say, even though Isaiah was giving me mad douchebag energy in the beginning, I did like in his confessional when he got paired with her, he's like, hey, you know, I think she's the underdog. I think she's going to be a really strategic, smart player. And I think this can give us an upper hand. And I think not actually having that immediate sexual connection and energy and kind of quote unquote crushes right away could give them an advantage. Now, unfortunately, I don't know how big of an advantage because we saw in their first kind of chit chat, get to know each other, that Nicola is a very smart woman and Isaiah not so much.
I love physics and
Physics?
math.
Holy sh! I'm awful at those things.
Are you good at remembering things?
No.
No.
Remembrance is terrible for me.
Remembrance?
I think I made that word up. That's going to happen a lot.
Remembrance?
I always be making words up for some reason.
Okay.
Remembrance. English is not her first language, and even she knew it was made up and it was ridiculous. And she's like, oh, I'm dealing with an absolute idiot. Even his reaction of her loving physics and science, which I loved that. Like I kind of already liked her in the beginning, the guys, when they separated from the girls and they're scoping out who they like. They even said, they're like, Nicole is different. Like we can sell. And she does. She has a very different energy, which for me, I'm always attracted to in girls as friendships and who I like to look up to as someone that's just a little different. I think it shows strength, it shows courage, and it's just more fun than following the herd. I myself am a little bit of an oddball, so I kind of think I relate to it, but I like her. And I did like that she kind of had this little bit more of a timid, again, underdog energy. But now that, oh my God, she loves physics and science, I was like, that's my girl. But that conversation, this could be a really interesting pair up, having probably the smartest girl with the dumbest guy. So, eek. Next in our coupling, we have Andrea and Josh. Again, I've said my piece with Josh, but you know, maybe this is a good match because he's a personal trainer, clearly all about those macros, brah. And she was a bodybuilding competitor, which is the same kind of, I mean, you have to be heavily into that. I've done some of that about 15 years ago, dabbled in that world, and it's intense and it's obsessive, but they could be a very good competitive team because that does put you in the mindset. I do think she's ahead of him. I think she's out of his league. I think she's a grounded woman, but time will tell. And last but not least, we have Lucinda and Mert. There's obviously that attraction there. The language barrier is a bit interesting. Them trying to get to know each other, you know. She's, I think her and Isaiah should be coupled together, to be honest. I think they just have a little less in their heads going on than everyone else. But my God, look at her. She's stunning. Again, I think she should be a model. She reminds me of Miranda Kerr, the Victoria's Secret model. Like, looks so much like her. She photographs, she videos beautifully. It's just more, you know, when she opens her mouth and starts talking, that I'm like, oh, okay. But we'll see. I think we have seen she is our weakest player from the female side. So yeah, I'm ready to be surprised. So we kind of get all of our couplings together. They're chit chatting, getting to know each other, get ready for the evening, and they think they're gonna chill, but oh no, oh no. Ariana comes back and they can't believe how fast. Like, come on, man. And she comes in with a little surprise. And it is our two heartbreakers, two new castmates. We have Charlie and let's see, Soleil. Yes. And this is going to be Charlie's from the US and Soleil, we all know, is from France. And we all know her from last season of Below Deck, this season that's actually just finished up. And if you were with me over on Anchor Watch with Jason covering Below Deck, you know how much I dislike this woman. I am all about fun. I'm all about being flirty and whatever, just be you. But hard work is the one thing that I do not give any ease on. Like, if you are working on a yacht, do the job. Like, she is such a little brat. She has such princess treatment expected. And the way she strutted on to this episode with this, I'm hotter than shit. Like, you could tell there was this arrogance about her. And give me such a cringe. So she's definitely my biggest ick factor girl. You can see here when they get to go in and kiss whoever they want and steal whoever's partner they want by giving the necklace to their partner, taking the opposite sex. For Soleil, it would be a man, and for Charlie, it would be obviously one of the women. And so then we're going to leave two people single. But let's just watch. I can't stand how this went down.
So Len and Charlie, you will each get to kiss as many of the islanders as you want.
Sorry, not sorry.
Hey.
We're in trouble.
Woo! Charlie's coming in hot.
Yeah, like let's just go there. Let's pick apart what she was wearing. First of all, like the most nude and the slick back. I'm a fan of like my hair's slicked back right now. I'm a fan of the slick back, but I don't know if I love the like gelled back wet look. It works for like a photo shoot, but come on. I just like immediately, I think it's because it was on her and I already have a bad taste in my mouth from Below Deck with her that I was just like, ugh. And then even Charlie had this real, like together them walking in had a very like greasy look, if I had a word to describe it. And I think that's why they chose them to come in at the end of the episode to be the Heartbreakers. I think they both knew they kind of have this like sleazy energy is the best way I could put it. And it really exuded in this little game of they could kiss whoever they wanted to test out. And they both just kissed everyone. I was like, great. Now that we've all swapped spit, have we made our decisions? And they did. Soleil chose Mert, leaving Lucinda single. And Charlie chooses Andrea, leaving Josh single, which I wasn't super mad about that because we all know I also am not a huge Josh fan. But this leaves Lucinda and Josh single now. I was curious if can they get together? I was like, would that work? I don't know. They look cute together, but we'll see. They have a chance in the next 2 days to give those necklaces away and earn back a partner. I don't know. We'll see if they can. I'm curious if you think tonight if they will lose those necklaces or if you think they're going to end tonight's episode remaining single. I do just want to give a quick shout out, another ick moment. Let's just poop on Soleil a little more because, again, if you don't do your job on a yacht, I'm coming for you. But I cannot stand watching everyone kiss. We're already listening to all the kissing sounds, which we know is a classic Love Island asset. But look, I love macking. I love making out. I love a little tongue. I like little teeth. Let's nibble a little. Let's have fun. But to lead into a kiss with just full tongue and having to watch Soleil just oh my God. I was like, I couldn't cringe any harder. I was like, can this be done? It was so bad. I remember her doing that with Jess on Below Deck. I made a comment. I was like, what is this tongue thing? And oh my God, it was painful. And I was like, oh, great. We have a whole season of tongue first kissing Soleil. I can't wait. kill me. But yeah, this is an interesting start to this season. I'm so excited to see where it's going. We've got a lot on the line. We have a lot of pressure. You know, we've got $250,000 at stake, and we have love in the mix and some good sex. I'm curious who our first couple to hook up will be. I mean, Josh and Andrea were the first to share a kiss, and now they are no longer together. So I'm eager for tonight's episode to see how our competitors do now that they're coupled up, how they do together, and where it goes. Who do you think is the strongest player on the male side and female side? Who's your least favorite players? And how do you think tonight's going to go? Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow back for the recap of tonight's episode, and let's see what happens. Let's see who ends tonight single. See you then. Hope you're having a great day, and ciao for now.